So welcome everyone. It is January the 12th, 2024, and we're working in the heart chakra with St. Francis and the blessing and virtue of charity, Albert Einstein and the seventh dimension. And we haven't got to it yet, but Sanakamara and the universal law of unification unity. That'll be coming after we finish up charity. And so let's just jump into the slideshow here. Clean it all up. There we go. Okay. So there's St. Francis right in the middle. He was really good with animals and birds. Anything with a Fran name is usually connected to the animals. And there's Sanakamara, there's Albert. And of course, Mother Mary, she's always watching over all of this because this whole system that she's brought forth is really how things work in the higher realms. So let's see where we're at. There's the heart chakra, Albert Einstein, and the seventh dimension, the state of being, the heart, and knowing of love. I love that little definition there. And of course, this chakra is connected to different bodily systems. So the thymus, the heart, the organ, the heart, the circulatory system, the immune system, and the endocrine system. So the more we are in the balance in the heart, it helps with all the balancing of all the systems in the physical body. So the mental emotional piece is really important for perfect health. All right, we're mastering divine alignment for perfect healing. And it's connected to apologies, forgiveness, compassion, creation, gratitude, all these beautiful qualities connected to the colors. And I've written grounding here because grounding is actually an important piece to our health as well. Yes, Ken.
I recently discovered, well, you of course made it. I don't want to say this. I said I forgive me about, I don't know, a lot of times, and it made it easy for me to go to sleep last night.
Wow, that's so good. Yeah, that is key. That's key because underneath lack of forgiveness and lack of apology to self is we feel unforgivable. It's like lifetimes. It's been embedded in us partly through the religious systems, the saint and the sinner belief systems. So good work. Nice, nice. That's you're gonna be that's a really good thing to remind people. I feel like this apology and forgiveness blue of the mother has been so suppressed here. We just don't have a full understanding of how powerful it can be. That blue energy connected to the water, connected to when Saint Bernadette in Lourdes, you know, she was digging around for the water and the water came forth. And she was the one that taught us the quick apology. So that I had never noticed before in the teachings. So it's very powerful. It really helps bring the system into balance. And it's a genuine apology, which I'll go into. I've got a slide for that. So, and this is just reminding us that the chakras are connected to the organs and the glands and the systems within the body. So if we're struggling with any of like bladder or liver cleansing, you can see it's connected to the umbilical and the solar plexus, liver, right here and right here. And these are both places to let go of old issues. And here I've got the I'm so sorry here. To the self, to the universe, and to whomever we've harmed. It's like 3 quick steps. And it helps with divine alignment for us to come into that place of non-judgment of the past. And remembering we're safe here. You know, our inner child is safe, reassuring that inner child that we're safe and how cherished we are. And then as we anchor that into the physical form, as within, so without, we create that for the planet. That is, it's simple, but it's just remembering it over and over. So here's Albert. He says, you can think of the seventh dimension as the place of still point where all energies anchor and flourish. It can be the place of intersection of all and is the most natural and comfortable dimension for human beings because it is not only peaceful, but feels like home to most. So just remembering the heart space is the seventh dimension, and it's a place of balance. This exercise, we're taking 7 deep breaths of silver. Fabulous exercise. I'm just going to keep reminding us to do this. Because it really brings clarity and balance. So the water energy, the understanding, apology, forgiveness, and gratitude. That's the silver of truth, and it helps us fall into the green love. So now here is the definition of charity: the genuine ability to share all things material, spiritual, and emotional, based in the true understanding that there is always enough for all to thrive, and we are all richer in the joint expression of sharing. A heartfelt need to be generous, knowing knowledge and gifts are never intended solely for one person. The vibration is green. So that's why I'm always encouraging us to share, because it's in the sharing that's like a beautiful piece of charity. That's us being charitable. Okay, and this was so on Wednesday we did a little bit of the teachings from St. Francis, and these 2 sentences really stuck out to me. And he said, the ability to receive, because it is part of the balance, it is part of the balance of your life, and it is part of the balance of the universe, and it is certainly the balance of charity. And then he says, the ability to receive the sweetness of energy when one extends themselves in the fullness of heart and in the fullness of knowledge, that they are richer in every meaning of the word by giving and by receiving, because in the giving is the receiving. That's amazing. In the giving is the receiving. So that's the perfect balance. As well, it is that feeling that you have shared the abundance of gifts that have been bestowed upon you. And so, yes, Ken.
Well, this is a little off the subject, but I was just thinking about this. The cause of diabetes is not embracing the sweetness of life.
Yes.
So I just thought I'd put that on.
Yes. So then if the balancing of diabetes would be in the giving of sweetness out from yourself, and the sweetness, the receiving of it as well from others. So even from the air or from the plants or from the animals, from the cats, you see what I'm saying? So extending it out from yourself and receiving it from them, so that it's a balancing, because sometimes we will block the receiving. We're really good at giving, but sometimes we'll block the receiving. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. And Steve.
And when I send love out, when I raise love from my heart, send it out, I'm giving the love, right? But I'm also experiencing the love as it goes through me.
Mhm.
So in the giving, I'm receiving, right?
Yeah.
It's another way of looking
That's
at it.
another way of looking at it. And also giving can be connected to forgiving. So then there's a giving and receiving and forgiving as well. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, I think this really points out the importance of both giving and receiving, because the flow of energy is like that infinity sign. It has to go out and come back again. And you have to have both sides of that flow. Otherwise, it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
That's
and
true.
yes, and I think it's Saint Francis that said, we can extend all this information out, but it's nice to have someone receiving it. Yeah. Yeah. So, and yeah, so I think we'll go into that again too. So what we're going to do right now, so in this moment, my dear friends, my earth allies, let us extend our compassion, our support, our healing. And this is where he goes into sending the green energy. So, on Monday nights when we do our sending, he goes into a beautiful way to send. So he says, let us send the healing green, of course, to those okay, so this was Boston. So what happened in Boston again? Boston Marathon. Right?
Boston Marathon, the CIA FBI planted a bomb,
Okay, so this
blamed it on terrorists.
okay, so this is over 10 years ago. So it would have been 2013. And so it happened right when this channeling came through. So he's saying, let us send the healing green, of course, to those in Boston, to those who have been injured, maimed, killed, and to the families, to the city, and to everybody who has read about this senseless act of violence. Let us send it directly to their hearts and cocoon them in the gentle green. So we could do this with any war zone. Yeah. But let us also send it to every soldier, regardless of what flag they serve or believe they serve, who lies bleeding with their legs shot off or their arms, who wonder in the dark of the night if they will live through the day and if they are doing the right thing. Let us send the green generously to the families of those who are serving in such ways. It is not our place to judge any being. So he's saying just send that green energy. And what I've noticed with the green, when you work with green, it helps with the release of sorrow. I don't know, you can experiment with this, just breathing it and see if you yawn. I have been, anytime I work with green, I yawn like crazy. And I'm like, what is this? Oh, it's helping me release sorrow. So you can just experiment with it. It's a good way to release sorrow. Okay. So it says, yes, it is our place to be discerning and to show the way to peace, tranquility in the truest sense of the word, which means the sharing of all kinds of resources, spiritual, mental, physical, emotional. Let us send the green to the mothers who do not have enough food for their children. And let us send it to the fathers who feel inadequate because they feel they do not provide enough. Let us send it to all the animals. And at this time, I ask for particular consideration for the elephants and the rhinoceros, who carry the energy of the Divine Mother, of the feminine nurturing, because they are processing a great deal for the collective, not merely for the animal kingdom, but for the humans, that the humans may come along with them. Amazing. And a lot of the animals are doing processing for us, from the horses to the dogs and cats and whales and dolphins. And then he says, let us send the green to Gaia directly to her heart. So I'm wondering if I should make a list of what he said here, just to remind us for on Mondays. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, sure.
definitely.
Okay. Okay, I will do that. And then he says, now, my sweet beloveds, let us send it to each other. Let me give you my love, my green, my healing, my support, that you will know that you are supported and loved, and the extension of your generosity that you give every day from the sweetness of your being, without even thinking about it, is known and appreciated throughout the universe. You are cherished. This is the meaning of charity. Isn't that just so beautiful? You
Right.
are cherished. Yeah, I love that. Thank you, St. Francis. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, if we could really get that in our hearts, I think that would be beautiful, really.
Oh, it's amazing. You are cherished. without that you give, and the extension of your generosity that you give every day from the sweetness of your being without even thinking about it, is known and appreciated throughout the universe. It's amazing. You are cherished. So beautiful. It is the sharing of your sacred self, of who you are, and charity in its truest sense is a very courageous act because it is extending yourself and wanting to share, not to fix, not to change direction, but to simply share. So the understanding of charity, as it has come to be understood as assistance, is actually incorrect or incomplete. Because usually humans think they're being charitable when they donate money to an organization. So, and St. Francis is saying, because it is the desire to simply share. And in that, it is a very much the movement of charity, is the movement of the infinity. And in that, it is very much the movement of charity. I don't know what's wrong with that sentence. I'm gonna have to look at it again. It looks a bit odd. Is the movement, but we get the idea. The movement of charity. So the desire to simply share is the movement of charity, is the movement of the infinity. So beautiful. Beautiful. So simple. That's what charity really is. Sharing our sacred self. Wanting to share. Desire to simply share, the movement of the infinity. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, I think, when it says sharing from your higher self, sacred self, that's really coming from the heart, isn't it? So that's a heartfelt sharing.
Absolutely. Yes. Totally agree with that. And it's very courageous because it takes courage to do that. And I also think that he's talking about something else too, but we'll get to that. So all there is love and joy. So in love is charity, is healing, and as Archangel Raphael says, there's no difference between healing and creation. So then charity and creation and love, like these two, the gold and the green, is a really powerful foundation to create from. And in the green is blue. So the peace is embedded in the green. So that's why the Council of Love talks about love, 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 because it's such a powerful force of the blessings and virtues, especially peace and hope and forgiveness and apologies and creation and gratitude and joy. And it's just amazing. And then Albert Einstein reminding us about the seventh dimension is known as the dimension of the Christ consciousness. This is the state of being, the heart, and knowing of love. They're all saying the same things, just different wording. And then when you put the color to it and you realize what they're talking about, it's just like, okay, they're all saying it's all comes back to love. So beautiful. Okay, so then this is charity in its truest sense. So this is a bit of a repeat, is a very courageous act because it is extending yourself and wanting to share, not to fix, not to change direction, but to simply share. And I believe that apologies fall into that. So say there's something that you want to apologize for, it's sharing. That's all it is. It's sharing. And it's sharing apology to self. Say we made a judgment or we're doing a self-harm. So it's a quick apology to self. We can share that apology with the universe and to whomever we've harmed. So I think apology fits in here as well. And I think he goes into it a little bit farther along here. Oh yeah, okay, so and then this is the Divine Mother explaining the power of forgiveness and compassion. This is what she said to me. It's just good to review it. apologies, receiving a genuine I'm sorry, when someone says that truly from their heart, it is a request for forgiveness. And so in the person receiving the apology, it is not only the transmutation and what I would call the rectification of an injury, it is an expansion of the receiver to then from a higher realm grant forgiveness and feel compassion. So there's so much energy that of healing in the charitable act of sharing an apology. Mhm. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, I think that's such an important sentence there that, when you apologize truly from the heart, it is a request for forgiveness. And I think that's really important to understand that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
And then also further on, the expansion of the receiver as well, that's an important byproduct, which I didn't realize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to them from a higher realm grant forgiveness and feel compassion. Yeah, it's amazing. Then compassion is non-judgment. So we want to get to that place of non-judgment where there's no blame, no shame around any being around on the planet. So we're not holding it in ourselves and we're not extending it out. We're not blaming anybody for anything. Yes, I'm not sure who. Okay, Ken.
I was just thinking that, well, maybe it's because of it's already in there, but the truth has a lot to do with this.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Yeah, it does. Because truth, like when Michael describes truth, he says it's like a double helix with love. So love and truth, you can't have love without truth. So yeah, it's all so interconnected. Yes, Steve.
Well, just to coattail on what you just said, Ken, purpose of life is to realize who we are, right? That's the truth. And love draws us towards the one we're attempting to realize and opens us to the realization. But in fact, the purpose of life is satisfied by the truth. When I realize I am God as you are God, when I realize that, God realizes God at that moment, right? And that's what it's all about.
So simple.
Yeah, so simple. Yeah.
When does that happen, Steve?
When does what happen? Well, not tonight.
Okay. Okay, I
Well,
won't get my hopes up.
yeah, don't limit it.
Okay, so we did this one already. Okay, but this is the one that I would love. So charity in the giving is the receiving. So then I broke it down. So in the giving is apologies, forgiving, forgiveness, faith, trust, hope. So that's all the blue energy. And in the receiving is gratitude, balance, alignment, creation, joy. So it's amazing how the more we're in the giving, the more we're in the receiving. And that's the healing. And then the two energies create the healing. So it's kind of fun to break it down. That line just kept popping out at me. In the giving is the receiving. Amazing. Amazing. So
the giving of love is the experience of love. So yeah.
The creation, the alignment, the balance, the gratitude, the joy. Yeah. Yeah. And the more we're in this apology to self, where we're not in any kind of judgment of self, we balance, we fall into gratitude for everything. You start looking at the world from a whole different perspective, where you're just grateful for the experiences that have brought us here, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then it sort of helps when we're looking out at people suffering, knowing that eventually they're going to get to this place too, where you're just grateful for the whole journey. But the idea is to be in this excitement of joy and creation where it's, we want everyone to be in their purpose where it's really exciting. Okay. So this was interesting. I started experimenting with the silver and sincere apology. And because something came up that I could apologize for. And then I was like, oh, wow, this is so amazing. A sincere apology embraces the inner work and honors the inner child. Because I could see how if we're not wanting to apologize, it hurts the inner child. So the more we're in the flow of apology, the child blossoms. And so there's a core of grace inside this tri-flame, and the inner child can blossom. So I don't know. So it's just fun to experiment with it. And it's fun to find like I just picked this random picture off the internet, but your inner child doesn't have to be like a young child. It can be older. It can be whatever, however you envision it. So, and then the core is the truth. So that's that silver flame in the pink one in the heart. And the pink flame really relates to grace, and grace is all the divine qualities. So the inner child understands that, like that's natural divine alignment to all the divine qualities. And children are so innocent. That's who they are. They don't judge anybody or hate anybody. They like to laugh and play. We want to get there. Isn't there a saying that children shall inherit the earth or something? Or no,
Meek.
the meek.
Yeah, the meek.
The meek. Yeah. Okay, and then, so this is me going, there are very few among us who have not created as a warrior. And then I just named off a few, the Vikings, the Greeks, the Romans, the African, the indigenous. And there's been all kinds of behavior not of love, incest, rape, killing, violence. We are a creator race. Creator races usually learn what doesn't work first. Yes, Steve.
The other quote is, "You shall be as a children to enter. You must be as a child to enter the kingdom of heaven."
Okay, so there we go. So we want that inner child and maybe that quote is talking about the inner child too, on some level.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just fun to have. If you have a baby picture, I have a baby picture because my mom's been going through all the photos, and I have quite a large like baby picture of myself. And she's really cute. So she's like, I get to look at her all the time, and I kind of bring her. I imagine her inside of me. Yeah. So that's another way to do it. Just really have a cute picture of yourself when you're little. Okay, so creator races, and I think this came from the Divine Mother, or maybe it was Michael, I'm not sure. Creator races usually learn what doesn't work first. So we have mastered war and violence for thousands of years. Now is our time for peace from the inside out. And this apology works really fast. Apology is connected to peace. Apology for self-harm, any kind of judgment, and extending it out to the universe and to whomever we've harmed. We are not victims. We have co-created all these experiences. It takes two to tangle. So just know we've attracted these experiences for our growth. And now is our time to remember who we truly are in gratitude for the creators we are. So it's just a reminder that we can quickly come to balance out of all judgment with an apology, fast apology to self. And as Ken said, it creates peace, and so you can sleep. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a fabulous observation, Ken. If you can't sleep, practice your apologies. And you can see, what have I done here? Yeah, so see, that's the blue energy. So the blue energy is connected here below the heart chakra and also the throat. And then gratitude is above the heart, but it's also the solar plexus. So just know these energies are embedded in the chakra system. So even just dropping into your solar plexus to practice gratitude, or to your halion to practice apologies, or up into your throat for more apologies, that it helps with us remembering and anchoring it. So yeah, this is my little quote. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, so if we're creators, why not create peace?
Absolutely.
That's
It's
what we're here for.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And it starts with apology to self, I think. I think that's we've forgotten that piece. It's so simple. So anytime you feel yourself in judgment of self, or dissonance in the mind, or there's a confusion going on in the mind, catch yourself and then just do a quick apology. Like Saint Bernadette said, it's like it doesn't need to go on for a long time. Just catch it and then send it out to self, to universe, and anyone we've harmed, and then get back into the love and the joy in
Yeah,
the and of creation. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's important to have that forgiveness part as well, because I think that's an important part of it.
So how would you work it? Do you do the apology?
Yeah, apology from the heart, and then that is automatically a request for forgiveness, right?
Yeah.
So it's to remember that you are actually forgiving at the same time as apologizing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we talked about right here.
Yeah,
Apologies, receiving a genuine I'm sorry when someone says that truly from their heart is a request for forgiveness. So yeah, I think they're talking about when you receive an apology, they're asking for forgiveness. So when you're doing the same with yourself, you're asking for forgiveness of yourself, basically.
right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 They work hand in hand, forgiveness and apologies. Apologies, forgiving, forgiveness, and then trust, faith, and hope. It all goes together. Okay, so yeah, and then this is just a reminder that any trauma, so coming from the higher perspective around trauma, we can look at it as a co-creation. So we're not blaming anybody. We attracted this to balance karma, maybe there's another reason, but it's a co-creation to master detachment. And then detachment, we can, apologize to the self, the universe, whoever we'd harmed, anchor in that forgiveness, anchor in how things work in the higher realms. There's no war in the higher realms because the leaders have worked at, coming to peace. They've apologized to each other. And Ashira went into that, actually. It took them a long time to master, leaders mastering apologizing to each other, because they would get together and they'd fight. And then they were like, what are we doing? Yes, Ken.
So is detachment a good thing to practice before we forgive?
Detachment is kind of like it just naturally happens. The more we apologize, the more we're in a state of forgiveness, it naturally detaches us. So we don't get triggered by anything anymore. It's almost like a natural thing. You can invoke it if you want. You can invoke the law of detachment. And
Okay.
yeah, and like it's a law, attachment and detachment. You can invoke it. And in that is the understandings of apologies. It's all, but what I find is, like, how I like to say, be like a tree. being like a tree is like standing back, detached, and just watching everything. Because you can, because you're in a state of forgiveness of everything yourself. You've done the work of apology, you're in the state of forgiveness, and you can detach. And it's a beautiful place to be. You're the observer now.
Yeah.
And you're not caught in anybody's drama. You're just attached to the highest vision. Yes, Steve.
It's an important point for me to remember that if we were talking about, say, possessions, that I don't have to get rid of my possessions. I have to get rid of my attachment to my possessions, right?
Mhm.
So I just want to add that to the discussion.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mhm. Yep. And I wrote down here, creation for peace, apology to self. The more we're in that apology and forgiveness for the self, that's peace within. That's detachment. That's being like a tree. So you're just standing back and watching everything and just letting everything be in divine order. What's working and what's not working. Because we're always in the flow of change. We are always evolving. It cannot stop. The Divine Mother said that with the law of change. So we literally could just stand back and watch and just not get involved in having an opinion about much. It's actually very freeing. Yeah, Darren.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that, you attach to the highest vision, but you detach from anything material, really. It's the highest vision you want to attach to. Everything else you drop.
Yeah.
Well,
Another way of
I-
saying that is turn from the world to God, or turn from worldly desires to desire for God.
Okay.
Yeah, right. No.
Yeah, so what I've noticed with myself is I'd much rather be down in the downtown east side giving readings than like on the internet buying something.
Yeah.
It's like a service. You turn into this person that just wants to serve, and that like it's your greatest joy to be out serving rather than buying something, or I don't know. But
Going to a movie or whatever.
yeah, but then the other thing that I've noticed about myself is that I love creating things. So that's another, like and the mother said the more we're in that state of I can't remember which, I think it was in the law of change too, where she said the more we're creating and sending that energy of creation out, so we're in our purpose, that too is a state of quite a high state to be in.
Yeah, because you're in your highest joy if you're doing that.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So the I don't know if it's complete detachment from material possessions, because there are some that are necessary here.
Well, but no, it's detachment from the attachment. It's not detachment from the thing.
Mhm.
You just said we need that or whatever. Oh, we were able to retain it. We just have to be attached to it. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's releasing the greed, basically, is what you're doing.
Yeah. The attachment. It still is the best word, I think, attachment.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Well, I think we get the idea. Okay, now this is very interesting. We become what we resent. Hence, insidious repeating family patterns. So this is how important it is to detach from blame around trauma in family. So say we're holding on to resentment for a family member, we can become that without even realizing it. So and then in that is the repeating family patterns. So this is how important the forgiveness, apologies, and then creation healing is. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, we become what we resent, and that's because that's what we're creating. That's our creation at that time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm. So this, how important it is not to resent, like, yeah, Steve.
When my son was born, I became a father, right?
Mhm.
The only movies I had in my head were of my father, right? So even though I disliked him, hated him, all the rest of it, the only pictures I had of child rearing were my father. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I watched myself do the only thing I knew how to do, which was to rear a child like my father.
Mhm.
I watched it happen, right? And I was horrified.
Mhm. So you really get, we become what we resent.
Oh, absolutely. What we resist persists. We
Mhm.
wrestle with it forever, right?
Mhm.
So yeah. Whereas what we accept, we let go.
Yeah. Yes, acknowledge and accept. So if you could have said to yourself, I acknowledge that my dad was like this, I accept that he was like this, that would have helped let it go, and you could have become
Oh
who
yeah.
you.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't have wrestled with it. No, I would have become my own person, so to speak. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Darren.
Yeah, there's that saying also that the truth will set us free.
Definitely. Definitely. It's true at all levels.
Mhm. So a quick way out of resenting is forgiveness, apology. I feel like that's one, like acceptance and acknowledgement is good too. But see how powerful if we were in the state of forgiveness, um, an apology. Yeah. But I should have on here accept and acknowledge as well. Because that's the golden energy. Mhm. Anyways. Okay, so this is interesting because our ascension is connected to peace. Peace with each other, each other's groups, within the self, peace, safety for the inner child. But I use the tiger and the monkey here because for us to understand the courage it takes to be peace, to apologize, to connect with, family members that are distant or whatever. It takes a lot of courage. And so when you can face into the creation, and I use the monkey because it has the golden tail, the golden spiral, because that's the golden ascension spiral. So facing into it. And it's funny because in the Chinese horoscope, I think it's called a horoscope, the monkey and the tiger do not get along. It's like if you're a tiger when someone else is a monkey, you're the monkey or whatever, like it's one of the most difficult. So that's why I use those two, because it sometimes it doesn't feel easy to do this work, but if you keep at it, eventually we're going to all be at peace. And especially keep remembering your inner child too, because I haven't talked about that enough, and I think that's because of the trauma that I experienced, the experiences that I've had, and now that I'm in this therapy, it's really reminding me how important that the inner child is. So just keep remembering that. And there we go. This is one of the cards that I use. So this is the Christ consciousness, the seventh dimension, peace, love, joy on earth. And this in the tarot, so this is the wand, the disc, the cup, and the sword. So the wand is our spirituality, the disc is physicality, the cups is emotions, the emotional body, and this is the mental body, the sword. So bringing them all into balance and understanding the reflections can be keys to what's going on inside of us. I think that's the end. Yep, that is the end. What time are we at? Oh, 15 seconds left. Wow, good timing. Okay. Oh yeah. How do you like my peace sign, the globe, and the golden spiral in the triflame? Isn't that a nice symbol? Mhm.
Well,
All right. Well, shall we send some energy? Oh, unless there's any questions or comments about any of the slides.
Would you excuse me? I will need to run along.
Okay. Thanks
Okay.
for being here.
Hey,
uh,
see y'all Monday.
see
Yeah,
you then.
Monday.
Bye.
Okay. So Lillian, did you want to add anything?
Well, yeah, I did. I
Hmm.
had a very nice experience this afternoon.
Oh, good.
I was at Wendy's picking up the sandwich for Ken this afternoon. And this nice young man, I don't know. He, I was in the drive-through and he approached my car
Mhm.
and I rolled down my window and he asked me if I had like $1.39. And, he said he was hungry. And so I reached in and we have money in the car to give to people
Mhm.
because we allot so much money per month to give to people.
Beautiful.
And I reached in and gave him a $20 bill.
Wow.
And he went, oh, and I watched him. He went into Wendy's and I watched him go in and then he came out and he had something, he was eating something when he came out. And I thought, oh, that was so nice. I feel so good that I was able to give him money to get food because I know he was hungry. I'm sure he was hungry.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, that just felt so good that I was able to give him something, you know?
Yeah.
And
Well,
used to be we could only give somebody like a couple bucks because
Mhm.
we didn't have more money to give somebody.
Mhm.
But now we have more money, so we give out like 10 or 20 bucks to somebody
Mhm.
when they ask us for money
Yeah.
because it's important to us to give them more money.
Yeah.
well,
That's important to us
Mhm.
yeah,
out of our budget. Instead of buying something, we give money out to people. So,
that's
yeah.
charity in action for sure.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's important to us, but the feeling I got, and what was funny is I thought that the timing of if it would have been a few minutes later when I drove in to get into line and whatever,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have been the timing of when I was in line to get.
Mhm. Yep.
He walked across the parking lot and stuff. It was just perfect timing,
Yeah.
is what, our paths crossed.
So beautiful. And that it's just in the giving is the receiving because you feel it. Like,
Oh, I felt wonderful.
yeah,
I
there's
mean,
the,
my heart was like, I just felt wonderful. I smiled all the way home.
yeah.
I just,
So that's a perfect example of in the giving is the receiving.
mhm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. Thank you. Well, shall we send energy out to everyone that's hungry tonight, maybe?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
We could
Is there,
send,
Uh,
yeah,
And
a special-
everybody that's cold,
yeah,
Yeah.
cold, hungry, and what were the other ones? At war, not feeling like they were good enough, like that whole list. I'm gonna write it up. But yeah, let's do that.
Did you have a question, sweetie?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, if you have a question. Did you have a question, Ken?
Um, well, I kind of lost it.
Oh, darn. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
not a problem. I'm
Okay.
hoping I'll remember it.
Okay. We'll ask for it to come back. In the giving is the receiving. Somewhere it's in there. Okay. All right. Let's start
Oh.
our Oh,
Yeah, I
yes.
know, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, besides, sending, what, is there any special colors for, uh, hunger and, what was the other thing we were doing?
Oh, yeah. Hunger and people that are cold.
Yeah. Are there any special colors for those?
Let's send the green because that's love. And we're working with charity, and we'll ask St. Francis to help us send it out too. So green kind of blankets everything because it's healing,
Okay,
color of healing.
Yeah, and I think red would be appropriate as well, because that's your root chakra, which is your security in the third dimension.
Yeah, that's compassion. Yep, absolutely. And humility. Yep. Yep. Just go with whatever you feel as we're doing it. 'Cause
okay.
your guides will show you.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna start the timer and you can put yourselves on mute if you want. I'm gonna put myself on mute. So we'll see you all in 10 minutes. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's 10 minutes. It goes by so fast. Mhm. You're on mute.
I had a bunch of things that I was thinking about. What green is, I was thinking about a lot of the plants and vegetables that we eat start out green.
Mhm.
And obviously green means go.
Mhm.
And let's see what else. There were some other things that I was thinking about, but basically it was I don't want to say this. It was very expansive.
Nice.
Right.
Beautiful. And at the end of the channeling about charity, St. Francis tells us to eat green. Because the more we eat green, that's love. So broccoli and lettuce and peas, celery, yeah, everything that's green. Avocados.
Yeah, avocados, right.
Yeah. And my guides told me that too. They
Cool.
yeah, eat green and spirulina. I don't know if you know that. It's like
Spirulina.
yeah.
Spirulina,
Mhm. Yeah, and blueberries. And they told me blue. I'm to eat blue.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild blueberries are very good for you.
Yeah. You can get bags of them at Costco.
Oh, you can, really? I
The
didn't know.
wild ones.
Frozen.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're delicious. You can sprinkle them on lots of things or make smoothies or yeah. Yum yum. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to say thanks to everybody for watching, and we'll be back again on Monday for meditation and Wednesday for next class.